Okay, baik. Selamat pagi ya, pelajar. Kita bertemu kembali ya, after some time. Going through all your answers and all that. I think the best is when you come back to school, I will give you my feedback and I might send on to your GC. Okay, sebelum saya nak sambung, saya nak beritahu kita akan mula sekolah balik dalam 2 minggu lagi. Jadi tolong datang ke sekolah. And I want to do a parallel learning environment. Maksud saya pembelajaran selari, iaitu kita ada aspek online and in school. So we have to do that. Otherwise, I think we're running out of time. Alright? So please, when you come back to school, you know that you also need to go through online sessions and also the real-time sessions. Then it becomes very helpful. Actually, online and real time works together very well. Just online, I know what's going to happen. All of you going to just read and sleep or what. Alright, sekarang kita sambung ke muka surat 56 hingga 57. Ini adalah bahagian terakhir dalam bab 3. Dan tajuk utama dia adalah keunikan amalan demokrasi berparlimen di negara kita. Jadi kalau kamu lihat on page, ini the textbook. Okey, kalau kamu lihat muka surat 56, dia mula dengan tajuk keunikan amalan demokrasi berparlimen dapat dilihat dari aspek. So, there are how many things there? Gabungan unsur tradisional dan moden. That's point 1. Mekanisme semak dan imbang. Point 2. Kuasa budi bicara raja. Point 3. Serta kerjasama politik. So these 4 things are inside keunikan amalan demokrasi berparlimen di negara kita. If you don't get it, try to get these 4 points. Number 1, gabungan unsur tradisional. 2, unsur tradisional dan moden. 2, mekanisme semak dan imbang. Kuasa budi bicara raja, important, serta kerjasama politik. Alright, jadi you split these 4 points in keunikan amalan demokrasi berparlimen di negara kita. Jadi soalan kalau dia keluar tentang dalam essay ke structure, you know, they can ask you specifically. This looks like more of an very easily an essay type of approach. They can say like negara kita mempunyai amalan demokrasi di negara kita adalah amat unik. Huraikan. So this is a simple thing. They just want you to explain these 2 pages. Okay, now that first line itself, keunikan amalan demokrasi berparlimen dapat dilihat dari aspek gabungan unsur tradisional dan moden, mekanisme dan imbang, kuasa budi bicara serta kerjasama politik. That's 4 points there. In what? In just 2 lines. Kamu faham tak? You must get this out to score in your exam. Alright, let's look at gabungan unsur tradisional moden dalam pentadbiran. Okay, so now you see here, gabungan unsur tradisional moden dalam pentadbiran. What are the points that you need to know? Keunikan pemerintahan Indonesia teradun antara unsur tradisional dengan moden. This itself is a point. So how difficult can that be? Next point. Unsur tradisional terletak pada kedudukan. So the traditional aspect of it is kedudukan raja sebagai warisan sosial politik masyarakat Melayu. Kamu kena tahu unsur raja. Ini dari dulu dah, dari zaman Kesultanan Melayu Melaka, kedaulatan raja, all this the role of the king. Okay? Unsur moden ialah demokrasi berparlimen berdasarkan model. Please remember this line, Westminster, England. Faham tak? So what we have, very simple. So how would I want to actually simply say it? You know, this is the time lah. All of you like to conteng, do nonsense, right? Learn to conteng your buku sejarah. It's more important. If I were you, I would just do this. Okay? This is a king. And we have, next is parliament. Okay, I actually cross king and parliament. So the king represents what part? See, traditional. This is T. This is modern. You get what I'm saying? This is how you should do your work lah. It's simple. Next. And the parliament, if I talk, you already know, is based on what? Model, what model is that? Westminster, England. Okay. Next we have kombinasi raja penerbangan demokrasi berparlimen merupakan kaedah. It's a kaedah terbaik mengimbangi amalan demokrasi. Underline this. Mengimbangi amalan demokrasi dalam persekitaran sosiopolitik di negara kita yang mempunyai kebanggaan bangsa, agama dan budaya. Guys, you have to know this whole line. Now, come back to my point. Remember, do you all remember you see this, the role of the king and the democracy parliament, they play both important roles. Faham tak? Okay, you have the king there and you have the parliament. Both work hand in hand. Although, dari segi penggubalan undang-undang, everything happens where? In the parliament. But the traditional unsur, the traditional element is what? What is it here? Kedudukan raja sebagai warisan sosiopolitik masyarakat Melayu. The role of the king is super important. That's why it's important. Some of you, I don't know, in social media, be careful when you are talking about anything that has to do with the king, Yang di-Pertuan Agong, or any of the sultans in Malaysia. You have to be careful. Because you must understand, okay, they are not just ordinary people. They are an important element in the pemerintah negara kita. Okay, imagine they stand equal next to the parliament. Get this in your head, okay? So don't end up in a coffee shop talk when you all are talking, oh no, if I'm like this, why I wouldn't want. Please, wake up. This is how this country is run, and we need it. Kenapa kita perlu mempunyai, you see this, mengimbangi. Faham tak? You need balance. So let me just explain that. Gabungan unsur traditional dan modern. So traditional, what is it about? The king. Kedudukan raja dalam sosiopolitik Melayu. And we have modern, what is that? Modern is what? Demokrasi berparlimen. And what model is it based from? Yes. Alright? Faham tak? Okay? Next, what we have? Mekanisme semak dan imbang. What do I mean by that? Sistem raja berperlembagaan demokrasi berparlimen mewujudkan mekanisme semak dan imbang dalam pentadbiran negara kita. Pemerintahan beraja berperanan bagi mengimbangi pemerintahan demokrasi kerana raja berkecuali dalam hal politik, ekonomi dan dasar negara. Faham tak? He's not a supporter of any of the parties. His main concern is making sure the country runs properly. Kuasa penimbang yang ada pada raja mampu mereda konflik yang berlaku dalam demokrasi seperti pertikaian parti politik, pelbagai ideologi dan perselisihan antara kaum. Please remember this, very important. Mekanisme semak dan imbang juga berlaku melalui pengasingan kuasa itu pada perundangan eksekutif dan kehakiman. Okay guys, so when you read the textbook, you must really know how to say, urai the thing. That means urai means you take it out. Okay, for example, this part, semak dan imbang, first step is pemerintah beraja. He's berkecuali dalam hal politik. So the raja mampu meredakan konflik yang berlaku dalam demokrasi. Okay. Next one is so this is another point. Listen. Melalui penguasingan kuasa. So that is a point, keyword. Okay. Badan perundangan diberi peranan mengubah undang-undang sekiranya timbul konflik, penyelesaian dibuat melalui badan kehakiman. So you have one part again. What do we have here? What do we have here? What do we have? We have the king. We have the kehakiman. Okay, I will just write here kehakiman. Okay, my writing is bad. I never wanted to become a doctor. Calm down. It's just bad. Alright, this is the king, kehakiman. These are the two things to check and balance with who? The parliament. In fact, if you remember recently, now we are in Darurat still, but earlier our Prime Minister wanted Darurat, I think early part of end of last year or beginning of this year. But the King said no. Ingat tak? Kamu ingat lagi tak? That is you can actually see how this thing works. Alright? Seterusnya kita ada kuasa budi bicara raja. Secara umumnya kuasa budi bicara raja adalah kuasa yang boleh dilaksanakan oleh baginda tanpa mendengar atau menurut nasihat ketua kerajaan dalam perkara tertentu. So it is not everything. Please remember that. You need to know this part. Super important. That's it. Tanpa mendengar atau menurut nasihat ketua kerajaan dalam perkara tertentu. And what is it? Kuasa budi bicara ialah kuasa. Okay. Next, perlembagan persekutuan mempertuakan kuasa keberpertuan dalam soal lah. So you may need to know what are the things that he can make decision on his own without listening to the government. Number one, this part actually is a bit of a grey area sometimes, because if the day one decides that, recently in Perak, suddenly there was a motion of no confidence on the Menteri Besar Perak. So guys, I'm afraid for all this chapter 1 to 3, you need to know about politics. Usually we don't encourage you all to go into politics, reading about politics, but unfortunately, I think you all should know. Okay, kamu kena tahu tentang keadaan politik sekarang, sebab topik kita sangat berkaitan dengan politik sekarang. Okay, so you have to. So this is the time for you to read about politics. Of course, cikgu tak suruh kamu pergi duduk dengan pakcik-pakcik tua di kedai kopi bincang tentang politik. No, you're not going to get the right facts there. Kedai kopi is all about saya jago. It's all about I'm the guy who can solve the problem for the country. They will say, if I'm a prime minister, I can do this, this government don't know what to do. This talk is very good in coffee shop, but you give them the post, they'll run away. Okay? If you can't be in the government, be in an NGO. Try to do something for the government. Don't say I'm trying to fix the government by talking over a cup of coffee. Okay, come back to this. Yang di-Pertuan Agong juga mempunyai kuasa budi bicara untuk tidak take note. Wait, this one really happened, what? Remember? Tidak permintaan pembubaran. In this case, tidak permintaan darurat. Okay, Raja dan Yang di-Pertuan Negeri pula mempunyai kuasa budi bicara tidak memperkenankan. Same thing. So in terms of state, we have the Yang di-Pertuan Negeri. In terms of national parliament, Agong can decide not to membubar parliament, although we have issues with the majority or minority, whatever. Faham tak? So this is, you need to read this few times, but I suggest you to take exactly what is written in the textbook. Okay, don't try to argue your case like a lawyer. Remember, when you're sitting for the exam, you're not sitting as a lawyer. Okay, you're sitting as a student. Alright, next. Kerja sama politik. This is one. Actually, I'm amazed with this book, because guess what? It talks as far as 2020, Perikatan Nasional menuju negara kita menggantikan. It's a fresh book, guys. I think the smoke is still coming out from this textbook from the oven. Alright, sekarang kita tengok kerja sama politik. So, kerja sama politik menekankan soal perkongsian kuasa antara kaum berdasarkan prinsip tolak ansur. So you need to know again. You see, what are the points? Prinsip tolak ansur, perundingan, pengorbanan bagi memastikan suara setiap kaum diwakili. Please go through this. Next, permuafakatan pelbagai parti politik dalam satu gabungan boleh membantu parti politik menjadi. Okay. Sejak pilihan raya 1955, gabungan parti berasaskan kaum dibentuk atas nama Parti Perikatan. From there, it became Barisan Nasional. Dan parti ini, kerjasama telah membolehkan Pakatan Harapan memenangi pilihan raya. So basically, when can Malaysia ever have one party that represents every race to menerajui? So far, we haven't done. And if you look at history, there was one man who wanted that to happen, and it never happened. Can you tell who it is? That's my favorite hero, Dato' On Jafar. So back in the early 50s already, beliau what is the party that he formed? Anybody here knows? Go and find out. Go and find out what party did Dato' On Jafar form after he left UMNO. So in 1950s, he still failed to get the people to support a single party with all races inside. So we are still having the same model from 1955 where a group of different party members, party groups, they join and become the government. So we had Pakatan Harapan in 2015. They joined and then they won, but in 2018 we had this Sarawak and Sabah, which is also interesting, and then now currently we are in 2020 party, this Perikatan here, which is called Perikatan Nasional. They are running our country now. Alright, so now we come to the last part, that is all this kita perlu memahami dalam konteks. Please read that. I'm not going to read this now. Please read that by yourself. Go through it. Sila baca dengan jelas. Mempunyai bentuk pemerintahan yang unik tersendiri. All these are kebat areas. Always read the last kesimpulan and all that. Alright, so that's all I wanted to go through this last part of the thing. Please go through this video again. Read page 56 and 57. Thank you. Alright.